What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be getting into a little team building guide here for the new Super VEGITO EZA. Looking at this, because the type effective category is Transformation Boost here, they actually had to add some additional restrictions to this. Otherwise, this EZA would have been a complete wash, because that is obviously a very, very expansive, very powerful category. So if we go ahead and take a look down here, once you hit stage 20, from then on for the rest of the EZA, you're going to have 80% damage reduction against tech and int characters, and also anything superclass. So this is one of those EZAs where we do have to pay attention to this. You're going to want to mainly use extreme class characters, right? Obviously, you'd only want to put any superclass characters on your team if they're just going to be there for defensive purposes, but don't depend on them to do any damage at all, because they will not be able to. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Transformation Boost category. I actually did not realize how many extreme class units are on this category. I thought it was a pretty even split. I think for a while it was a pretty even split between super and extreme, but it seems like most of the recent additions to this category have been on the extreme side of things, which is good news, right? Because for this EZA, we do have to use many extreme class characters. Lucky for us, there are a few different leaders that we can use, namely these two, right? We've got the Transforming Super Boo, who's also going to get his EZA at the exact same time. So if you do choose to do his EZA first, then you'll have his EZA the leader skill, which will be nice to be able to use him as a leader. And then if not, we do have the EZA Cooler here that can easily be your leader as well. So yeah, very good category, lots of good options. So as usual, we'll go ahead and look at some of the best characters that I suggest to use, and then we'll go ahead and switch over to in-game, and I'll show you guys a few example team builds that I have put together. So let's get into it. Okay, so obviously the very first unit we're going to talk about here is the Transforming Super Boo. He will be 150% Transformation Boost lead, which is nice because you can use any card on the team under his leader skill. And then, like I mentioned, if you do manage to Extreme Z Awaken him first, you will be able to take advantage of the 170% portion of his leader skill. Even if you don't, it's very likely that there will be EZA'd boos on your friends list, so you could potentially just run your un-EZA'd boo as your leader, and then have an EZA'd boo as your friend lead, and then you would just have to hide yours, because obviously he won't be that good. You'd really only be using him for his leader skill if he's pre-EZA. So then next up, we've got the Cooler. He is going to be 170% Transformation Boost leader, and then, obviously, he's long since been EZA'd, so he'd be very good. Not only is he going to be able to do a ton of damage to you, or for you, he is also going to be a really good support type unit. For a lot of the other units on your team, so that is going to be very helpful, including this Terrifying Conquerors portion, right? Because there are a lot of Terrifying Conquerors. Oh, actually, you only get this when you're facing 2 or more enemies, so never mind. You won't get that portion. You'll only be able to get the Transformation Boost support, which is better anyway, right? Okay, so then the next unit we've got here is the LR Final Form Cooler. This is honestly the unit that I recommend you use as your leader. If you do have him, he is going to be the best leader that you can possibly run in this EZA. He's going to have type advantage, being an STR unit. There are plenty of Movia Bosses and Terrifying Conquerors units, on the Transformation Boost category, and then any unit you throw under his leader skill is also going to be getting the additional 30% because they should be on Transformation Boost, right? So you're going to be building a full 200% team with this guy, so that is very good for you. And then obviously this guy himself, having 2 of him on the team would be very, advantageous. And not only are there a bunch of movie bosses and Terrifying Conquerors, a lot of them are Frieza cards, which is very nice because you're going to be benefiting from a lot of these links, like Thirst for Conquest, Strongest Clan in Space, Universe Most Malevolent, and most importantly, Big Bad Bosses, right? Okay, so next up we have the AGL Super Boo, a very hard-hitting unit indeed, so he's definitely going to be one-shotting this EZA probably to higher levels than most of the other characters on this category. Definitely a good powerhouse that you could take advantage of here. Okay, so then we got the AGL Golden Frieza. Probably won't be doing the most amount of damage. This character really isn't built for damage, right? Is mainly built for this here. So, he's going to be tanking amazingly. Starting out with 90% damage reduction. Pretty much doesn't get better than that. Though he's getting minus 10% at the start of every turn, that's not too big of a deal to worry about in an easy A stage, right? Because usually they don't go longer than about 3 turns anyway, and then you'd be resetting and you'll be back at the 90%, no problem. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a very, very good, unit for you to use. And if you do manage to get below 50% HP, only at the 3rd turn of battle, then you can activate his active skill as well to help you do some additional damage. So I have also included the other 2 Golden Friezas. Keep in mind it is an easy A stage, so you can't use same named characters, so you will have to pick between the 3 of them, but I would say you definitely want to pick at least one of the 3 of them, because they're very, very strong defensive units. Any of the 3 of these will defend perfectly fine. Obviously the LR would be the best choice, but if you don't have him, then either of these 2 subbing in would be perfectly fine. So next up here, we have the Prime Battle First Form Frieza. In his Easy Aid state, he's another very, very strong unit, another good Frieza character to add to the list with all these awesome links and stuff. So then we've got the physical Super Janemba here. He is a very, very good tank as well. Keep in mind that he is guarding all attacks within the first... or if he is the first or second attacker in turn. So as long as you leave him in those slots, then it is essentially like he is defending the same as all of the STR characters would. So yeah, that can be very, very good too. He has a high chance of nullifying Ki Blast Supers. I don't think... I actually need to double check that really quick. I'm not sure if this guy has Ki Blast Supers. I don't think so, but let's double check just to be sure. Yeah, it's not. It is a physical type super attack. So, unfortunately, Janemba will not be getting his nullification procced against this Easy A, but he should still defend perfectly fine nonetheless. And he does also have some of the very good links, like Big Bad Bosses, and Metamorphosis is actually another really common one that you're going to be seeing here. Which is really, really good for some extra healing, especially in an Easy A stage where you can't use items, right? Okay, so then we have the Baby Janemba card, another very, very good unit, mainly for defensive purposes, right? Because he's got the high chance to evade, and then the stacking 12% with each attack evaded within the turn. So this is going to be a very, very powerful defensive unit for you to depend on. He's also giving you some HP recovery, and yes, does have the Metamorphosis link as well. So yeah, another strong unit that can be added to this team for sure. Now that I think about it, there are kind of a lot of strong Kuroda Body and Mind category units. I wonder if you could build a Kuroda Body and Mind category team here. Interesting stuff. I may have to look into that. Speaking of which, the very next unit we're going to talk about here is the Fat Janemba, who is the Kuroda Body and Mind lead. So if we are able to build a full Kuroda Body and Mind team, he could be a decent option. Now, keep in mind that he is a tech-type unit, so he's not going to be doing really any damage for you, but this guy's main role on the team is as a defensive unit. So this is another unit that's going to be guarding all attacks, so he'll be defending the same as the STR units, and then as long as you're able to select the key spheres that he needs, he has a really, really strong support-type passive, as well as giving himself some additional damage reduction too. So having 2 of him on the team definitely would not be the worst thing, right? Especially if you're running some of those other Janemba cards that we just went over, because they're going to link up very, very well. Okay, so next up we have the STR Kid Buu here, just another very, very strong STR-type attacker. Keep in mind that this guy does have to build up with each attack performed, so, he's probably not going to look super amazing turn 1 here, but when he comes back around onto the rotation on, turn 3, he can look a little bit better for sure, and he does have some additionals built into his passive, which definitely help him build up those stats a little quicker, and then he is also getting a fat amount of HP recovery here if he receives attack within the turn. So I suppose if you were to use him as your leader and have 2 of him, then you could take advantage of a lot of healing there. But I already double-checked through the Majin Buu Saga and Battle of Fate categories that cross over with the Transformation Boost category, and there really isn't the best options there. So I really wouldn't recommend using this guy as your leader, though you can build a team with this leader skill here if you chose to, if you really wanted to. Another huge benefit of this guy is that you have a great chance to nullify unarmed super attacks. So, because we just checked, and it is an unarmed super attack that you're going to be facing off against, this is going to be a very, very strong defensive unit for you. He also is able to activate his active skill here, which just gives him 20% stats for free if there's a Majin Buu category enemy, which there will be. So, yeah, this Buu himself is definitely a unit that you want to run on the team, even if you're not choosing to use him as a leader and run his team, right? So next up, surprisingly, a unit that will benefit a lot here is Hearts. So again, another unit you probably can't really use as a leader. I don't think that there's quite enough Time Travelers Dragon Ball heroes to build like an amazing team. I think you can do it. Like there are at least 6 cards to build the team, but you could definitely build stronger teams with this guy without the leader skill, right? But, you know, he is an extreme class support. So on top of having his guard for 5 turns, which is going to help him tank a little bit better and stuff, especially getting the additional defense when guard is activated, and then having the support type passive, he also, let's see, where is it here? Plus an additional key to attacking defense 20% for all allies. Oh, actually, they have to be crossover. Okay, so he's not going to be getting this last portion of his passive here, because you're probably not going to be able to build an entire team of crossover category allies. But keep in mind, it just has to be every ally within the turn. So potentially, if you load up as many crossover category allies on the team as you can, you do have a chance for there to be an entire rotation that he's on with all crossover category allies, and then you could get that support type buff as well. So that would be good. Next up, we have the Easy Aid Cooliza here. Going to be a very, very strong support unit. Definitely recommend using this unit if you're running a lot of the Frieza and Cooler cards, right? Because they are a Wicked Bloodline support here, so that is going to be very, very helpful there. Okay, so another Heroes unit that we've got is Sealus. He is, you know, going to be just a very, very hard hitter and a good defender, as well as providing this support type passive for artificial life forms and time travelers. So this could be good. I suppose if you do decide to put any of the Cell cards on there, the Cell cards probably aren't going to work the best for this because you do have the Int Perfect Cell, who's going to have type disadvantage, so he won't do any damage, and he's probably not going to defend the best. And then you have like the STR second form Cell, but he's going to be an Android Cell Saga support, and there's not a lot of Android Cell Saga cards that you're going to want to throw on this team. So I really wouldn't recommend using the cells, but if you are using them, then you're going to get a lot of use out of this Time Traveler support. And then the cells and the Buu cards will all be on the artificial life forms portion here. So if you're running any of the Buu cards, then you'll get to take advantage of the artificial life forms passive here. You probably won't see him fuse into the fuse with Ahm's third form there, because that doesn't happen until the 5th turn, but he should be perfectly fine without it. And yet another unit that does have the Big Bad Bosses link, so very, very good. Okay, so then we have the Int Super or the STR Super Janemba here. Oh yeah, so I probably should have moved him up and put him next to the physical Super Janemba there. So yeah, just keep in mind that these 2 cards do have the exact same name, so you will have to pick and choose between the 2 of them. Both of them will be very, very good for this event though, right? Where were we at here? There we are. Yeah, so this guy, again, guarding all attacks, and then he has a similar passive to the Baby Janemba, where he's got the medium chance to evade, and then the stacking 10% for each attack evaded within the turn. And again, another unit that's got Big Bad Bosses and Metamorphosis. It's going to be very, very easy to build a full team of Big Bad Bosses units, which is very nice. Okay, so another unit that I kind of wanted to throw in here is the Dragon Ball Super Broly. Obviously not nearly as good as some of these other units that we were talking about. He doesn't have guard. He doesn't have attacks effective against all types, excuse me. So he is just a type neutral character, but the fact that he gets this great attack and defense raise, and then, let's see, does he get any of his additionals? Yeah, okay, so he has 1 additional in his passive here when you're facing only 1 enemy. So if you could potentially get up to 3 super attacks per turn, which is going to help him defend amazingly, on top of having... Where's it at here? Oh, right, it's a Broly card, so he doesn't actually have Big Bad Bosses. Yeah, so this guy probably isn't going to be linking up the best with most of the other units on the team, so maybe he wouldn't be a great unit to use. Certainly a decent fill-in option if you're missing a lot of the other characters and you just need someone to throw on the team. This guy can certainly be a good option, but yeah, not nearly as good as some of the others. Okay, and then the last 3 units that I wanted to cover here are the EZA cheat units, right? We've got the Tech God Goku, the Tech Caulifla, and then the Tech Android 17 and 18. Obviously, all 3 of these units can be used to exploit EZA, so I always go over them. You know, whenever we get a new EZA. Unfortunately, this time around, we're getting a little bit gypped, because they do not count Potara fusions as pure Saiyans. Unfortunately, even though it is a Goku and a Vegeta, because of the Potara portion in there, they don't count as pure Saiyans. So we actually cannot take advantage of the Tech God Goku or the Caulifla this time around. But, as always, any EZA, you can use the Android 17 and 18 to take advantage of their free active skill to give you that Ghost Usher for the first turn that they come out, which can always help you sponge some of that damage that you would have had to take. So let's go ahead and switch over to in-game now, and I will show you guys a few of the teams that I have put together. There definitely aren't that many this time. Previously, you know, and a lot of other EZAs, I have put together, you know, countless different teams. And there are so many different infinite team builds, but I feel like there's a few that just shine above the rest. So this is probably an example of, like, the best possible team build that you could bring here, right? Using the Final Form Cooler, you do have to make sure that everybody is on Movie Bosses, or what is it, Terrifying Conquerors, I believe? Yeah, Movie Bosses, Terrifying Conquerors. So, yeah, the one downside of this is that you can't use the STR Kid Buu, because I think he is going to be one of the overall best units for this EZA, because he is not on either of those categories, silly enough, right? But yeah, this should work out perfectly fine with pretty much the full Frieza and Cooler setup here. You're gonna be rocking smooth with this team. And then this is actually the only other team build that I came up with here, just the generic transformation boost team. But if you'll notice here, other than our leader with the Cooler, all of these cards are on crossover. So this is an example of that team build where Hearts could definitely benefit, because you very easily could get a full rotation of crossover category characters, right? So yeah, this could be a very, very good team for you as well. And then aside from this, I would just recommend going with any generic transformation boost team. Oh, actually, wait, I did want to see if it's possible to build that Kuroda Body and Mind team. Let me make a cut here really quick and see if I can do it. Okay, so you kind of can here. Not really. It's kind of a janky team. It might be fun to try for somebody, I guess. So, you know, as you'll notice here, we have the Janemba cards. The only other Kuroda Body and Mind transformation boost characters are going to be like the baby cards, which obviously aren't that good right now. So, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to put any of them on the team, but keep in mind that the Fat Janemba is also a generic, just extreme class leader, right? So you can put any of the other extreme class characters on here, and they'll be under the leader skill. So that is very, very helpful to keep in mind. So that's why we put the AGL Frieza here, because he's still going to be able to defend perfectly fine. And then I think with how good the Buu is, he should still be okay under that 130% portion of the leader skill. And then to finish it off, we just put the tech androids here, since there weren't that many other good options. So yeah, I'm sure that this team could definitely get it done too. Alright, well that is basically everything that I've got for you guys. Good luck in your EZA. That's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!